what advice do you give your clients when they deal with these types of challenges?
Yeah, and they deal with challenges. It might not be a health scare, but the deal is it feels just like a tumor when something's gone. That's the thing. Everything feels like that when it happens, when you have that disruption. There's something. What's keeping you up late at night? What's that something that's disturbing you that you're trying to just neglect, ignore, and hope it goes away? What do you do? You know, when I think of when clients come to me asking me for help with this stuff, it's getting them to ask deeper questions, to have more curiosity, and take what could be a negative and how do you turn it into a positive? You always heard that before, right? Like, okay, turn it. What's the positive of this thing happening in your life? Well, what if I told you the best thing that ever happened to me was getting that tumor? It's been like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Now, not at the moment, in that heated reactive moment when I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for something like this. I'd heard of these cancer scares and so I think it's allowing yourself to be with something and not resist it, not ignore it, not neglect it, but feel the full weight of something for a moment. Meaning you don't just try to jump right to the solution. It's very important to not self-abandon and ignore things when they first occur. Often in business, you know, what's considered emotional intelligence is your ability to squash that shit, the inappropriate emotions for the business meeting or the objectives that need to get done. But we all watch the Olympics and we love those moments when you see someone, you know, win or lose and the emotions just pour right through. And it's like, because everything's been about getting the gold or getting to that moment. And then, oh my gosh, now what? And so if we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions, because when you feel your emotions, this is something I do with clients is we ask a lot of questions to feel the emotions. What are the emotions you're feeling? And allow yourself the space and container to feel your emotions so you can see the story you have about the incident that is occurring or has occurred. So the incidents are usually neutral, but how we relate to them, just like I could have my football team win the game and your team lost the game that day. We're going to have different emotions around the same thing. So so we use our emotions to discover what the story is we're telling ourselves. And then we can see that there might be some flaws in the story. And if we discover that there are some flaws in the story, we might ask ourselves, what if I keep telling myself the story? Is this going to get me any better feelings or get me what I want? Often, like 100% of the time, no, it's not. And so you got to ask yourself, okay, well, what is it that I do want to create for myself? Well, then what story could I tell myself and tell others that would promote that occurrence and promote the positive feelings? So what if you allowed yourself to feel all the feelings, even the disturbing ones, in order to figure out what stories you tell yourself, in order to find out the flaw in the stories, in order to figure out what you do really want, because often we don't really know what we want. We want to just get out of pain and, you know, some kind of activity or something to engage and distract, disassociate, to just get out of some immediate pain, only to find ourselves stumbling and tripping all over ourselves when the next similar thing happens and we're right back in it. So what if we could stop going down that same street and falling in that pothole over and over again? We could choose a different street, and that street is by being able to discern, well, if I keep going this way, you know, doing the same thing, telling myself the same story, which is going to lead to me doing the same type of actions that don't lead anywhere different, what if we can interrupt? So when a disruption happens in your life, it's time for an interruption where you can literally change the course of your life.